What's up, guys? Average Kiwi Guy here. How y'all doing? So it's Gotham night again, and this time we got the Fear Reaper, the second episode in this new season, and pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. It wasn't too bad. For me, it was sort of like it's broken down in three parts, right? You had the gym stuff with Scarecrow and Penguin and all that going on. Then you had the Siren stuff, which is pretty cool. I liked what they're doing there. And definitely how Ivy's now, evolving, which is very cool. So, her character taking that next step, very, very big. And then obviously the Bruce stuff, which is, I think, what a lot of people are really, really interested in now. Like, for me now with Gotham, I'm kind of done with Jim Gordon. Or like, I think we're at that point now. We're at that point where Jim is kind of starting to become that secondary character. Like, I'm not excited for the when Jim has his scenes and all that. The important stuff now is Bruce. It's Bruce. It's the villains. That's where Gotham's got to now. I think we're past the Jim Gordon part. So for me, probably my favorite part, obviously, was the Bruce stuff. Him getting essentially his first suit. His first suit from Lucius, and I loved those interactions with Lucius. When he's in jail, and he walks out, and Lucius is there. He's like, "Oh, what have you been up to?" He's like, "Oh, just stuff. I was on the rooftop, waiting for Selena, like looking for Selena and stuff, and I fell through a window, which happened to be robbed. Like, as stuff happens, and he's like, well, you had concrete residue on your clothes. Like, how do you explain that? It's like, I was looking into rock climb. Alfred's teaching me how to rock climb. He's like, oh, yes, I am. He's taking it to like a duck on water, stuff like that. And of course, Lucius is like nodding his head going, yeah, I know you're lying. I don't believe your bullshit for a second. But, he's like, oh, okay. It's like, you'll eventually tell me at some point. But I'm going to give you free shit. I'm going to give you this awesome suit because, Wayne Enterprises never keeps an eye on its R&D section, and Lucius, who's not even an employee anymore, happens to be able to walk in there or has it at his house and just walks up and goes, oh, here you go. Custom-made suit, ready to go. Here's your first Batman suit, essentially. It was cool. It was cool. I did really like those interactions between the two of them, because what's going to come in the future. Like, obviously not in the series, I don't think. I think like the last thing that we will see in Gotham, like once it finally ends, will be a Batman scene. I don't know if it will be like full on, but I'd imagine it'll be like kind of like what happened when Smallville finished. When Smallville finished, and we had that final Superman scene. That will be what we have at the end of Gotham. But we're not there yet. I think it's probably got a few more seasons in it. And yeah, I mean, the suit looks cool, very basic. It's just kind of like a leather jacket, pants and stuff. Obviously, it's got the grippy gloves, the microphone. It's all the basics. Which is cool. Nothing that resembles, Batman, except for really like kind of the mask, like the shape of the mask and stuff. But he's not Batman yet, so it's cool. It's like a prototype, suit. So that's cool. And then obviously, you can tell Bruce is still learning. Like, he tries to go up against this gang, and I don't know, he sort of just waltzes in there, and then he basically gets away, but Alfred has to save him. And he has like his first grapple hook moment, like out the window and stuff. Like that was pretty cool, but he's learning the hard way. And being a badass crime fighter is, it's hard work, and it takes a little learning. He's learning on the job, so that's kind of cool. And he's got some moves. He just needs a little more practice. And he needs to learn how to keep his damn hood on. I swear to God, stop taking your mask off. It's like, you're Bruce Wayne. You're Bruce Wayne, for God's sake. You're not some random kid. And And yeah, that was pretty much Bruce. It wasn't too much. It was just, that, you're getting the first things with, like, Alfred. Like, Alfred doesn't want to see Bruce getting beaten up and stuff. Like, he's like, I don't want to see you just get killed. Like, I don't need to see that. So, that the whole, trying to take care of him and stuff. You're seeing that more and more as Bruce walks into this vigilante side of him. It's cool. It's cool. I'm liking where it's going with those two. With the entire Bruce side of the story, he's developing nicely, so it's good. Then probably my second favorite part was the siren stuff. So Barbara's alive. Surprise, surprise. Like, no one really ever dies in Gotham. It's just, sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. And we'll see that with Butch. If you guys don't know, we might have a Solomon Grundy sighting pretty soon. If you guys didn't catch the final of last season, who Butch actually is, which is pretty cool. And I imagine that will be coming up pretty soon. But yeah, Barbara's alive, and she has this shiny new gun shop, essentially, with, very fancy looking, basically hidden, like, I guess, shelves full of guns and stuff, which was pretty cool. It would be a pretty badass. It reminded me of like a sort of a, Batcave sort of thing. Like, that's what Batman would have, like these, shelves that would flip around with lights in the back and everything stacked up nicely. Like, that stuff, it reminded me of that, like, hard out. But yeah, Barbara's back and, somehow is able to have this amazing gun store. So who she's working with and sort of how she sort of, not came back alive, but sort of managed to be somewhat normal. Barbara's never really all that normal. And, who's she working with? Because she's clearly working with someone. Because her plan's like, I want to get Selina and Tabitha to help me. We're going to basically be like the armory for every one of these villains that Penguin's giving these licenses to. We're going to be the one-stop shop for them. And we're going to learn, like, what they're doing and all the rest of it. Collect up all that information. Now, it's maybe it's Raish. Maybe it's Raish kind of keeping an eye on what's going on in Gotham. Kind of wants to get in the Penguin business, know what he's doing, have a way of taking him down. Or it could be Carmine, someone who's looking to turn all this information against Penguin. That's where I'm looking. It's got to be someone with money and someone who would want to take Penguin down. That's where I'm looking, because Barbara could not pull that off by herself. Like, her family fortune and all that is gone. Like, that all went into the Siren Club. Not there anymore. Obviously, the distrust with Tabitha, the whole knife thing, that was kind of cool. I think she was more shocked, but then very quick to trust again. Well, not trust, but, like, tolerate. So, and then obviously Selina, like, she just wants power. She wants a way to make herself more powerful. Make herself relevant. It's a very Selina thing. Like, the grass is always greener. She wants to keep going and do whatever it takes to get to that greener grass. And Ivy essentially comes in as well. Like, she's sick of Penguin. Like, Penguin's treating her like just some little girl that's following him around, and she's useful when she's needed and stuff. And she hates that. And we saw that in the last episode where she turned all the lights off and made a mess with Penguin. And then that never really had any consequences or anything. So that was interesting. It's like the show forgot all about that. But yeah, Ivy getting sick of that. And then the Siren's, like, really not interested in her. Like, Tabitha told her to go away. Selina obviously trusts her, but Tabitha doesn't trust her at all. And Barbara didn't really care. It's like, oh, okay. You're like a friend of Selina's? All right. But this drove Ivy to go to this sort of, like, I don't know if it was like a Chinese herbal place or something. Stuff where she's getting her perfume chemicals from. And she wants something stronger. She wants something that will make her stronger. And she starts, she tricks, she basically seduces the shop owner using her perfume to get all these like powerful like potions that shamans made and stuff. I don't know. If it's basically with Ivy, if it's ancient toxins, like poisons and stuff, you're getting to where Poison Ivy came from. So I don't mind it too much. The whole weird face manipulation thing like that was going on after she drank it all. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Ivy. I hope they don't mess with her too much. Like, just keep her, like she can seduce men, or seduce anyone really, have control over plants, like, just make her Poison Ivy. That's really all you need to do. You don't want to mess with her too much. She is a fan favorite, so you don't want to mess with her too much. And there isn't really much you should do to her, I think. They already played around with her, like, with the whole aging thing. It's like, just make her Poison Ivy and be done with it. That makes her a far better character, and we can move on. So, it's cool to see, obviously we're getting to that point now where all these villains are becoming who they're meant to be. Like, even Penguin. Penguin, like, this season, far better. Not so whiny, not so, like, paranoid of everything. Very, like, he knows what he's in control. And he knows his power. And he knows, he's in control of all this stuff. He's on top. And he loves it. And he's, it just makes him a better character. It really does. And it's going to set him up nicely to get taken down near the end of the season. So, probably by Ed or by whoever's funding Barbara or whatever. But the way the villains are tracking at the moment, I'm happy. I'm very happy with what they're doing. Would like to see Mr. Freeze and all that come back a little bit more, but I think they're letting other characters develop at the moment. Now, probably a villain I'm a little worried about is Scarecrow. He's young, and he's a little whiny. He's like kind of a whiny teenager. He's not there yet. He's very immature, a little unhinged, but that's, Scarecrow, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, his age doesn't help him all too much. It doesn't help him all too much. And the whole, like, water stops the gas, like his toxin. I know it's like a first formula, like, a kind of the proof of concept formula. So he's gonna, he's always, changing up his formula and stuff. Because that's Scarecrow. He always has this brand new fear serum or fear gas or whatever it is. Like, that's what Scarecrow does. He's always making more and more and more of this stuff and making it better. So it would make sense that the first batch is kind of easy to get over. But the whole, Jim just being stronger than the gas, like it was just not, like he had this, the whole vision with Lee in the bathtub, trying to help her, and then like, you should do the same. And he's like, wait, Lee wouldn't tell me to do that. And then he's cured. It's like, of course Jim Gordon is the big badass who can overcome Scarecrow's fear serum and everything. Because he's Jim Gordon. He's a, freaking, nothing takes him down. So he's almost bulletproof half the time. A little disappointed about that. I would have rather like him, basically get overcome by it. And then like Harvey or someone having to come in and save him. I think that would have been a little bit better. The stuff with Harvey, by the way, Harvey's not as stupid as you might think. Like his like plan, like, look, Jim, I can't go with you. I go with you, I lose all my cops. We lose all of them. Because when Penguin said to all the cops, I'll pay you triple if you walk out the door with me right now, none of those cops left. Because Harvey stayed. And Harvey knows how to play the game where Jim just refuses to play it at all. And I think sometimes that is the problem with Jim. Like the way they portray this Jim Gordon. I know he's hard-nosed, and I know he doesn't compromise on his morals or anything like that. But my God, does it make him a very rigid character, and a character that doesn't progress in any way. Like, he doesn't grow. He doesn't, there's nothing different. Like, for me, Jim Gordon has not developed probably in any way. Like, yeah, he's had his up and downs. Like, he became a bounty hunter and he drank a lot and all the rest of it. But he just does not change in any way. And I don't know. I think that's why I'm kind of done with Jim. I think Jim's kind of hit his peak and he's plateaued now. Like, all these other characters are coming up. They're coming up and they're getting better and better and better, and they're becoming those epic characters that we all know, like the start of them. They're not there yet, but they're the start of those characters. And I think Jim's hit that point where, okay, just make him the damn commissioner. Make him, the guy, this badass police officer. Give him Barbara, or any Barbara. It doesn't have to be Barbara Keene. It can be any Barbara at all, and be done with it. Let's just move on with the other characters. Jim's kind of hit his point. I think he's hit his level, and yeah. So not so good on the Jim part. But yeah, I mean, the episode was pretty damn good. I mean, it had some like horror stuff, like that whole, basically the whole clown scene where they're like, shaking and they're like twisting and like making all these weird sounds, like nope. We don't need this. I don't like horror films. I don't like horror things at all. I don't like them at all. So I was just like, can we just move on from this part, please? But it was still very interesting. And I think that's what Scarecrow does bring, is it brings that horror, fear stuff to this season, which will be very interesting. They just need to work on Scarecrow a little bit. They need to work on, and I think he will develop through the season, or at least for the first half, as he's the relevant villain. I think when we move into the second half, it'll probably be Raish, but he definitely needs work. And yeah, otherwise, pretty solid, good episode. I was, impressed with it. I was. Like I said, definitely the Bruce stuff and the Siren stuff, definitely the highlights right now. Definitely the highlights. Just gotta maybe tone down the Jim stuff a little bit. I'm kind of, tired of him. And then hopefully work on Scarecrow, and we'll be good. We'll be all good. And, eventually I'm sure Bruce will get a grappling hook because he's going spelunking or something, That's what will happen, and everything will be right with the world, and Gotham will, will have a vigilante flying around with a grapple hook. I'm seeing it now. That'll be the gift at the end of the season. But yeah, it was cool. I quite enjoyed this episode. It was very good. But yeah. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you very much for watching. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Bye.